Only thing I want you to do is to be ready. This is the broadcast that will talk about open and honest conversations every time we come live. I want you to get ready. Get ready, prepare yourself. Things happen all the time. There's always things coming at us. Get ready, strap your seatbelt on real tight, and get ready because you are embarking in. This is
the Raheen Ashimi Show.
That girl that can sing. That girl that can sing. That girl that can sing. She almost sang better than me. She almost sang better than me. I'm just gonna tell you, she almost sang better than me. Well, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, and good evening, everybody. This is another episode of the Raheen Ashimi Show. I'm your host, Raheen Ashimi. Got my brother from another mother, but we got the same mother here with us. This is Mr. Ryan. Ryan, good evening, sir. How you doing this evening?
Doing great. How are you doing this evening?
Hey, doing absolutely amazing. Doing absolutely amazing. Now, I got let's transition. We got another brother just came in too. I didn't know he was here. He snuck in on me. This is my brother Stanley, Mr. Stanley Smith. Good morning, sir. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening, sir. How you doing? I'm mixed up, man. My time is all mixed up. Good evening, sir. How you doing this evening?
I'm good, man. Good evening. How y'all doing?
Hey, doing good, doing good. This is the Raheen Ashimi Show. You know that we're actually only here for 1 hour, for the Raheen Ashimi Show. We're gonna get back to the real men being men, probably by the end of the month, next month, something like that. I don't know when, but whenever it is said. But right now, I got a conversation, and I want to talk to each and every one of you about it. We got some more people that's gonna come in. Ryan,
Yes, sir.
as men. What is it that we want and we expect from our women?
Oh man, starting off with a banger.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on the context of your relationship. For me, I expect her to return the love that I show her in kind and take care of my children and take care of my house while I pay the bills and take care of them.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Is that the extent of it? Is that the extent of what you expect? What is it? And let's go. We got 1 hour. We only got 1 hour, so we want to jump right into this thing in the deep pool. What do you think most men, if not you yourself, what do you think most men want and expect? And what is it that would make them happy in a relationship, Ryan?
I think truth, honesty as a whole, respect, love, empathy, compassion, all of those things that you kind of hear about.
Mm-hmm.
You hear about them whether they happen or not. I think that those are what we really look for. We want that loyalty. We want that companionship. Even though as men we try to pretend like we don't care about those things, we really do,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
we act out in not so pleasant ways to the rest of society when we don't have them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow, that's good. That's good. Stanley, what do you say to that, man? As men, and first, what is it that you expect? What is it that will make you happy from your spouse, from your lady, or what do you think it is that most men really expect and want and desire from their spouse?
I think mostly it's their support, their love, and their compassion and nurturing. Just trying to make sure that they being a good mate.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of women don't support their man. They kill their dreams and, don't support what they're trying to do. If they're trying to be an entrepreneur, and we just want to be loved and want to be, like I say, supported.
Mm-hmm.
And make sure they do their wifely duties around the house or whatever. Especially, if they're not employed or not working, their job is to be a homemaker. Just take care of the home, take care of the kids if you have any,
Mm-hmm.
and support what I do, trying to take care of the household.
Okay. Now you said something that and I know you, brother. I know you. I know your heart, and I know that you didn't mean anything outside of what you said in this. But when you say wifely duties, some women take that very offensively. Because we say when a lady say that, taking out the trash or something like that, and I say, baby, I took out the trash, and sometimes the lady will say something, well, you're supposed to, that's what you're supposed to do, and and it rubs us wrong. So do you think some women could take what you just said, and though you did not mean it in a bad way, you didn't mean any bad intent or anything when you said it, but wifely duties, how do you think some women would take that?
Well, some women will take it as cooking and sex and just cleaning the house, but that's not all of it, because 90% of the time you're going to discuss what each other's role is in the house. Like I said, if you have a woman that's not working, her job and is to make sure the house is clean, make sure food is on the table, just make sure she takes care of the household stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, and sometimes you can put the woman in charge of the bills. So, you know, back in the day, they said the older men would come home on Friday, give their wives a check,
Yes.
and wife would take care of the bills, get all the groceries and all that. Like, you really can't do that nowadays because everybody's trying to be a diva and all
Mm-hmm.
that kind of stuff, and you just can't trust everybody with your money because some of them not going to do the right thing. Some
Exactly.
of them will, some of them won't.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, when I say wife to do that, I don't mean just barefoot and pregnant.
Yeah.
I mean
Exactly.
whatever
Exactly.
whatever they have discussed as far as these are my responsibilities for the household, and these are your responsibilities in the household. So you take care of what you're supposed to take care of, and I'll take care of what I'm supposed to take care of.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good.
So
And,
that's what you call teamwork.
and see, and that's why I wanted to take the opportunity and give you opportunity to clean it up, because some people will take that, man, man, stop it. The man did not mean it that way.
But
Stop it.
you know what James Evans says, right?
Barefoot and pregnant. Barefoot.
He said the kitchen and the bedroom.
The kitchen and the bed. Yeah, that's it.
But
But you about to get us. You about to get us kicked off for real. You about to, man. Look here. Don't send them emails to me. You send them to Stanley. Send them emails straight to Stanley. Don't you? I don't want them. I didn't say it. I did not say it. Tucson.
like I said, everybody, they have their own household rules and things they work together. So each household is different.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Exactly. Absolutely. Absolutely. Tucson. Good evening, sir. How are you doing this evening?
I have the right to remain silent.
Yes, you do have that right, sir. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. But let me ask you this, Tucson. What is it? And we're talking about men and men being happy. What is it that you expect from your spouse, from your wife, to make you happy? And what do you think it is across the board that most men want or desire in order to make them happy as a man from their spouse? He's scratching his head. No, his head don't even itch. Look at that. Look at that.
Some questions you have to answer very carefully.
Mm-hmm.
But what can I summarize it by saying to be paid attention to?
Wow. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. See, you putting additional rooms. You adding additional rooms into what you're saying there. But go ahead, brother.
Yeah. Of course.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many rooms. I just built a house
Mm-hmm.
with a garage,
and you want some attention. And you want some attention in each one of the rooms.
Yeah, I mean, they're half for real. I mean, really.
Yeah. Hey,
I scratching my head again.
Exactly.
But see now, sometimes there's a level of misunderstanding
Mm-hmm.
because we don't pay, and this is both ways. It can go both ways. We don't pay close attention to the other, and we miss something, and that way, that's the reason why we have to go back and straighten a lot of stuff out that wasn't necessarily said or done or intended. It's just assumed because we don't pay too much close attention. It's just me.
Yeah.
You know, we live in a society that most household that does have the spouse in the household, they work.
Mm-hmm.
Most, not everybody, you know. Some, and even if they stay home, they work at home. Don't
Yeah.
misunderstand that. Don't get that messed up, because taking care of children is a job.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God I don't have that job
Mm-hmm.
anymore. But that's a task. But when whether you stay home or you go to work, when you get home, somebody said, now I know my time, but somebody said, don't bring home to work and don't bring work to the house.
Mm-hmm.
There's a
Mm-hmm.
there's a certain point at in a daily, um 24-hour period. It should be, I don't care if you can be holier than thou, okay? But you need to set that aside. Set the job aside, set the children aside. I don't want to wash no dishes. I don't want to, I don't even want to hold hands. But just
Mm-hmm.
sit there. But just sit there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just sit there together. Something may be on the mind, but
Uh-oh.
we don't see it, or we don't say it, because we're not paying attention.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because there's always that next event that we're preparing for.
Mm-hmm.
Either we've already come home from work, and then we got to go get the yard done, and then we got to do this, we got to do that, we got to do this, we got to make sure the kids fed, and we got to do all that, and then we got to prepare for the next morning. Well, what about
Mm-hmm.
y'all two?
Mm-hmm. Wow.
When you know what I'm saying is, when does that come up? It don't come up at 12 o'clock at night. That's too late. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sleepy. I'm sleepy, and I
Exactly.
get up at
Exactly.
4. So I'm just saying. That's just my answer, Raheem. And to not go into detail, I'll just leave it right there.
There you go. There you go. I don't know what happened to Ryan. We just lost Ryan. Hopefully he gonna come back in with us. But
Ryan went paid to some attention.
it might just be that. Stanley, do you think sometimes we as men put out unfair expectations of things that we're not gonna get it, and it not from the person that we're dealing with at that particular time. Maybe we could get it from somebody else. Maybe somebody else could really provide it for us. But the person that we're with at that particular time, do we sometimes have unfair expectations from our spouses?
Yeah, yes, we do. And sometimes we don't even realize it. You know, I look back on my younger years, and my wife told me one day, that you're selfish, and I'm like, I didn't even realize that I was selfish. And I stood down one day and I thought about that thing years ago, and I'm like, I guess I was. I didn't look at it as being selfish. I looked at it as being wanting what I wanted, when I wanted, how I wanted it, where I wanted it, and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because I was just used to, having it like that. But so sometimes you expect them to do what you want, how you want it, when you want it, the way you want it, and all of that, not realizing they're not that person.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
not realizing they might be tired or they may have something on their mind. But we look at, well, this is what I want.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
tell them I want this for dinner. Well, they may not feel like cooking that big meal that day, but as long as something on the table to eat,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
you know,
Exactly.
and you expect, well, I want steak and potatoes. Okay, yeah, but I'm tired. So
Mm-hmm.
tonight you're gonna get hot dogs and beans,
And you're gonna get
but there's
full.
something on the table.
And you're gonna get full.
You're gonna get full.
Yeah.
And you won't go to bed with an empty stomach. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we do, we do put a lot of expectation on people, and we don't think about it because, like I said, we want what we want, but
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it's unrealistic.
Exactly. Exactly. Ryan, what do you say to that? I asked a question. Do we as men sometimes set or desire unrealistic expectations from our spouse? Do you think that happens sometimes?
Yeah, I think that happens from time to time. Um, you know, let's take my wife for example. She doesn't work. She stays at home with the kids. My oldest one's out of the house now, but we had four in the house at
Mm-hmm.
one time. And it would be an unreasonable expectation for me to have my house completely spotless at the end of the day when I come home from work, when she's here by herself trying to manage
Mm-hmm.
four young children. That'd be
Yeah.
unreasonable.
Mm-hmm.
And I would be a fool to come home and start pointing the finger when yeah, I'm at work working,
Mm-hmm.
but I need to come home and lend a hand. You
Yeah.
see him right now running back and forth across the screen because it's raining
Mm-hmm.
outside.
I got you.
So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you have to have some sort of a common sense to you
Mm-hmm.
when you're dealing with those things. I can't expect dinner to be ready and sitting on a table and hot when I come home from work when she's got four children to maintain, especially
Yeah.
when they're in school. They got
Exactly.
homework and things. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's just unreasonable.
Now, are the kids in the room? Right? I don't want to. Okay, it's some conversation we can't have because you got the kids there.
I got my headphones on. You coming through the headset? You good?
Okay, good deal. Now, Toussaint, and I'm gonna ask the question, man. Sometimes we go to work and our wives they go to work and stuff like that, and they come home and they're tired. Maybe they had a long day. We had a long day, but it was time to go to bed, and we get that burst of energy, and we want to have some grown folk activities, and they be like, I'm tired. I'm tired. Do we always understand that?
Well, I done got old, so it don't make me no difference. Shoot, I'm tired
Careful
too.
what you say now.
I'm tired too. So there you go. It is what it is. I'll catch you next week.
Good night.
Good night. And that's it. And I say I'm old. I'm not old. I'm not really old. I'm not even 60 yet. But
Uh-huh.
some things that used to bother me, it don't
Yeah.
bother me no more. Just
Hmm.
roll over, go sleep. Just be done with it.
Exactly.
They
Exactly.
don't used to be getting mad.
Just leave my pillow alone. You get your own pillow.
I mean, look, at this time, Stanley, I'm sorry. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just trying to do the best I can at this point. So, when y'all going on with that foolishness, talking about, boy, I need a all nighter. Boy,
What?
please.
Better give me a 10 minute, a 10 minute,
I
and we
need
ain't
to
doing
do that
for the
when I
sleep.
was young.
That's what I'm talking about. Quit playing and lying to yourself because you
Exactly.
sleeping too. I'll tell you what,
Exactly.
after that 10 minutes, you sleep anyway.
Exactly.
Oh, out like a light. But for the most part, Raheem, I mean, we have expectations,
Hmm.
but we like I say, whether they stay home taking care of the kids or they work an 8 hour shift at jobs are stressful.
Yes. Yes.
Children are stressful.
Absolutely.
I mean, you got to make sure that you ask your children, how was your day? You better.
Hmm.
What did you learn today? Because they're gonna put some stuff on you, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because and I don't mean any harm by what I'm finna say, but I'm gonna say it. Sure enough, I will. They'll have the drag queen over teaching your children.
Good Lord. Whoa. 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 Wait a minute now. Wait. I
You
saw.
think I'm playing?
No, no, no. I believe you, brother. I believe you. I saw a video earlier, before I came. It was actually on TikTok, and the man was calling. They had a big protest, and there was some three teenagers across the street, two girls, and a boy, and it was all dressed in, like, I guess you would say, what's the cheerleader outfit. All of them were dressed in a cheerleader outfit, including the boy. And the man pointed it out. He said, "Look at here." He said, "Y'all wonder what's wrong with the boys today? What's wrong with the men today? Look at that. Y'all women are encouraging this man to walk out here, walk around here, and act, looking and dressing and acting like a woman, and y'all encouraging him to be blah blah blah." Stanley, is that too much, brother? Did he go overboard with
Too
that?
much.
Huh?
Yeah, that brother went too much dressing like a cheerleader, man. But hey, the women, like you said, the women are encouraging this,
Mm-hmm.
and they're confusing a lot of these kids, man. This in the next 20 years or so, this world gonna be in a mess, man, because
Yeah.
they letting kids make decisions about their sexuality. You tell them the child, it's against the law to have sex with a child when they're 13 or 14 years old, whatever the law is. I don't keep up with it because I don't do that. But you can let a child make up their mind. They're born a boy, but then they tell their parents, I want to be a girl.
Mm-hmm.
So you let that child change their sex to 8, 9 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So stuff like that, man. It's ridiculous.
Exactly.
The Bible says, man and woman. It don't say nothing about, half man, half woman, half man.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I was doing something, paperwork for VA, yesterday on the internet. And the question now is, it was used to be male, male, female, or whatever. The question on this particular piece of paper said, what was your birth gender?
Good Lord.
It's crazy. They're changing this stuff, man. What was your birth gender? What? It was another one like, I'm gonna go back and pull it up because I'm gonna get back to this on you, man, later on this week because I want people to read that stuff. What was your birth gender or gender at birth or something like that? I'm like, wow, you said male and female on this thing.
Exactly. Wow.
A lot of people born one gender and they changing it up, and they have this on paperwork now. So it's just crazy, man. We're in a very confused time right now, and I don't like chaos and I don't like confusion, but right now this world is both of them.
Yeah, exactly. And see, they talking about population control. They talking about population control. Huh?
I got a hostess of the call at 8:25. I'll get back on when I finish up.
Okay, appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. And they talking about population. They talking about population control. They're talking about population control. And with this mindset, Ryan, they're doing that population control because you can't put two people of the same gender, same sex, if you will, and reproduce. It just does not happen.
So I'm gonna say this: you can completely remove the Bible from this conversation. Just go ahead and throw it out because you don't need it. Science defeats itself in this case because science says if you can't reproduce, you're useless to the world. You had no point being here.
Yeah.
And I believe it was Lieutenant Robinson. I believe he's a pastor in North Carolina or South Carolina, one of the two. And he was talking about this whole transgender thing. He said you can get dressed up, made up, cut up, do all these things, but at the end of the day, your DNA still says what God made you at birth. So just a short story. I'll make it super short. Z, her sister, moved to Colorado, and she was asking us our opinion. We told her, no, don't go over there. You're not gonna like the politics. And we explained to her that they let drag queens teach in the classroom, drag queen story time, all of these things. She didn't believe us, so she went ahead and moved over there. We talked to her 2 weeks ago. She said, as pretty as this place is, I hate the day that I ever didn't listen to y'all and come out here. Every classroom has it. Pride flags. They changed the national anthem to include LGBTQ stuff in there. And this drag queen story time. And like people think that this is just some sort of a right wing talking point. It's not. This is legit. They are trying to ruin us. And by us I mean man and
people.
woman.
People.
And reproduction. People.
Yeah. Wow. Tucson, are they going overboard with this thing? Because I'm gonna tell you something. I look at TV. If I look at TV for 10 minutes, I guarantee you a commercial came on with a man kissing another man and a woman kissing another woman and all kind of things, man. I guarantee you, if I look at TV just 10 minutes, I don't have to look at a whole broadcast. I don't have to look at a whole show. About 10 minutes. 10 minutes in, you're gonna turn your head, man, because man, and then you got your kids there, man. And they, people, what man? Come on now. Tucson, talk to me, brother.
Doggone it.
Ain't number one
You know,
truth, brother.
just to be able to tell the truth. There ain't but one truth. And it's always probably right now. Let me just say it like that. TikTok will cut you off because this conversation right here, this real conversation right here, that needs to be talked about. Somebody will be offended, thinking that we're throwing out some kind of a hate or discriminating, but no. Look, I have a right to kind of guide my children, grandchildren, in a way that is right.
Yeah.
That
and you should have a choice.
A norm. I'm talking about a norm, a normal. Right. Now, if you want to say that's normal, that's up to you.
Yeah.
I don't have no dog in that hunt. And I'm like, Ryan, let's go. I'm not willing to throw the Bible out, but let's just excuse scripture altogether. Okay. And let's just be sound, rational. Let's just try to make some sense.
Yeah.
Okay. When my son and his wife had triplets about a year or so ago, at the hospital, they asked them, do you want to give them a gender? She had 2 boys and a girl. Do you want to give them a gender? Or you want them to wait and decide that for themselves? What kind of sense does that make?
Wait, decide for themselves. It's not their choice. It's not their choice.
What sense does that make? Okay.
None.
All right. So here you are with natural organs that identify you perfectly. It's not a here we're just talking about reality.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me be ugly for a little while and have a grown folk conversation. Let's just everybody just all of a sudden have a in the garden moment and pull your pants down and let's see what you look like.
Yeah. See what it is. It'll let you know.
It'll let you know. I mean, it is what it is. Let's just go naked for a minute. And I promise you, somebody will be able to distinguish the other from one.
Tucson. Now you know you got people listening to us walking around taking their clothes off. Put your clothes back on. Put your clothes back on.
Go down to the beach in San Francisco.
Wow. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Exactly.
Now,
man down there wearing the thong.
Clearly.
There's a misunderstanding.
There's something hanging in certain places. And it'll be clear. There's some bulging out, either at the top or at the bottom. It is what it is.
Yeah.
And I promise you, one little kid about 4 or 5 years old will either say, yes, sir, or no, ma'am, or oh my God, he or she, clearly. But they're not going to say, well, I'm going to decide. I'm talking about a child.
Yeah.
Will come up and say, let me think it over and identify them later. What sense does that even make?
None at all. Ryan, talk to me, brother. To me, it makes no sense whatsoever. No sense whatsoever. You know, that's not a choice that you have. You know, you don't have. Go ahead.
You're born that way. They pushed on us for years, and I'm not saying one way or the other. So don't ban me.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Not saying one way or the other, but they've told us for years that homosexuals are born that way. So why can't a boy and a girl be born that
Exactly.
way?
Come on.
It's been like that since the beginning of time. Why is everything topsy turvy right now?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
My wife and I were talking about this the other day. Like the Bible itself is saying in those days, wrong will be right and right will be wrong. And everything right now is so
Yep.
incorrect.
Yep. Exactly.
you can't even you can't have a conversation like
Mm-hmm.
this or somebody's gonna get offended. Did you just assume my gender?
Mm-hmm.
It's ma'am. Well, ma'am, you sure got a deep voice and them hands kind of big.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's not trying to be funny. That's
Ma'am.
real. It's
Ma'am.
genetics.
What did you buy your Adam's apple, ma'am?
But it's scary, man. Because sometimes some of these men
Mm-hmm.
out here looking like
Mm-hmm.
women, and you catch yourself looking like, ooh
Yeah.
wee, she fine, and then she's standing next to you in the urinal. They're like, oh Lord, and then you got to go home and wash your mouth out with
Look
soap.
Girl, what you doing there? Girl, what you? Oh no, no. And just to think, I thought I had thoughts about you. I feel bad for Tucson. Go ahead, brother. Y'all got me acting silly. My wife listening to this thing, man. Y'all know my wife listening to this now. Y'all know my wife listening.
I don't even know how this started. Oh, I said that you gotta, your kids would be drag. I made the comment about drag queens in classroom.
Yeah, you did it. You took
I
the
thought we
conversation
was see how this all just flipped. We was talking about what does it take? I think for a man to be the
be happy.
spouse to be happy,
Mm-hmm.
and we got so much other
A
things
woman.
that's really important that needs to be addressed
Mm-hmm.
to the point where the sanctity of marriage is in trouble.
Yeah.
Because nobody really wants to do it
Do
no
you
more.
think young? Do you? Yes, that's all about to ask you, Tucson. Do you think young people is even interested in being married anymore?
No.
Go ahead.
No. And if they are, then chances are now, if we keep on, somebody's gonna date their puppy.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you something. No, I can't say that.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna tell you what happened to. And I might have told this story before, man, but this happened to my friend KD, man. He's actually from Camden, New Jersey. We knew each other from Greensboro. We used to hang out, go to the clubs, and chase them gals together in Greensboro. But he was going to the club one night, and I said, man, nah, man, I'm gonna sit it out, man. Go ahead, man, have a good time. He went to the club. He came back to my house, man, probably about 1:30 in the morning. I'm like, man, Raheen, he knocking on my door, Raheen. Like, man, what the fuck KD want, man? And girl asked me, the girl I was going with at that time. She said, is he okay? I said, baby, I don't know. Let me go see. I got up, went to the door, and he said, man, I almost went to jail tonight, man. I said, what you mean? You almost went to jail, bro? You was at the club. What you mean? He said, man, I got with this thing in the club, man. We was out there dancing and all kind of stuff. And long story short, he was in the club. He met this thing they thought was a beautiful young lady. They hugging and they in the club, they kissing and stuff like that. And I was like, man, you kissed? I said, oh man. He said, we went to the car and got to the car, and he ready, do some stuff in the car.
I feel violated already.
He said he reached over there, gonna try to,
do like
and
Trump.
He felt something that felt like heels. He's like, what the, he went to cuss him, man. He said that he reached up on the seat to get his gun. By the time he did that, I'm gonna say the thing. I ain't gonna say thing. That's rude. The individual had got out the car and was taken off. and and he lost him and everything. He came back and I came to the house and was telling me about it. He said, man, I said, man, you almost been with a doggone dude, bro. I said, you almost been with a dude, man. You out there. I said, and you was kid. He said, Katie, he just is he crazy. He could be he like wiping out. I was telling you, yeah, man, yeah, man. We was in the club, kiss. I said, bro, you got to be careful, man, because in this day and time, you don't know, man. And these individuals, and there's a case going on right now where a transgender got killed, and I think what happened was, you know, he was messing with somebody, didn't acknowledge or didn't let the person know who he was, and it went to a certain place, and the person thinking he was dealing with a woman because the guy's not gay. KD is not gay. KD ain't gay at all, and so that that's something that I think Ryan, I think that, if a person gonna be that way, let a person be who they are, but you can't just pull somebody into your world, man, and not let them know who you are. You can't do that.
Nope. Remember that movie, The Crying Game?
I ain't see that one.
Oh, come on, man. That's like
Mm-hmm.
80s. Same scenario. Um, the actress was actually a woman, but in the film had male genitalia. Transvestite, I believe it was. And she didn't tell the guy up front. And then he copped some feelings for her and ended up going after her and all this other stuff. Anyway, that's a whole nother ball
Mm-hmm.
game. There's a conservative transgender by the name of Blair White who's out
Mm-hmm.
there. And you look at Blair White, you cannot tell that Blair White is a man.
Wow.
But he will tell you up front what he
Mm-hmm.
is.
Mm-hmm.
He still has his genitalia
Yeah.
below, but he does not agree with the agenda that's out there with the drag queen story time, pushing these decisions on children, pushing transgender at all.
Mm-hmm.
And he's very hated in the LGBTQ community because he stands against all of these things. He said, you want to do it when you're an adult, that's one
Yeah.
thing, because that's your choice to make.
Mm-hmm.
He said, but don't do that to these children. You're destroying their
Exactly.
lives. How do I know? Because I'm one of them.
Mm.
I'm a transgender person.
Mm-hmm.
And he puts out so much scientific data to support what he's saying, how just leave them alone. They grow out of it. And if they don't, then they make that decision later when they're an adult.
Mm-hmm.
So it's crazy. Like everything is just again so topsy turvy. Like why would we as human beings as adults want to destroy children? You know, the first it was this movement. Now they got the movement trying to remove the age limit on what's considered rape
Wow.
or molestation or pedophilia. They're trying to remove the age limit.
Mm.
I don't care. You could say it's 5 years old. I'm gonna blow you away for touching my
Yeah.
kids.
Exactly.
That's just being real.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
it's crazy.
And see, and that's the thing right there, man. They trying to take away all the Tucson. I just think they're trying to remove all sense of morality, man. I think that's what it is. They're just trying to remove all senses of morality, man. Because how can what would a grown person, why would they even want to consider or have a thought or an idea in their head with being with the child? Why? Why?
Be-
What sense does that make?
It don't make absolutely no sense. But this society is a nonsense. It's just we didn't go somewhere that we don't really want to be, but we're there.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, for the most part, rational.
Mm-hmm.
Very few or seldom to none rational people wouldn't want to be in this predicament where we just go for what you know. It is what you.
Mm-hmm.
If it cooks your crawfish, go for it. But that's the
If it
most
cooks your
dangerous.
crawfish.
That's the most dangerous statement that anybody could ever make.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you mean to tell me,
Mm-hmm.
not only do we make choices that, okay, when are they going to have a molestation conference? child molester
Mm-hmm.
conference because
Mm-hmm.
everything else goes. I mean, you do what you want to do. You and I don't know this conversation. Can we start talking about something else, man?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Absolutely,
I don't know
absolutely.
what. I'm sorry. I apologize, but I'm just saying that it's a full time job. Why we said all this? It's a full time job trying to stay in a norm with your spouse and your family, your children, your
Mm-hmm.
grandchildren, family. The family unit is so difficult because when you leave the house, there's so much of a change in what you're
Yeah.
trying to have a structure,
Mm-hmm.
values, um, uh, morals,
Mm-hmm.
standards. When you leave the house, when your child leaves the house, your wife leaves the house, you leave the house, all that's out the
To start,
door.
yeah, yeah.
And so when you get
To
back
start.
home, you got to straighten all that out before you sit down. And we're gonna go back to this and say,
Mm-hmm.
honey, and she be like, I got too much on my mind. I got too much on my mind. You
Exactly,
should have heard what the
exactly.
children were talking about today.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm just
But let's get back to our initial conversation. We're gonna shift back to that for a second or two. And Ryan, with all the distractions that's out there, with all the stuff that's going on, everybody want to be happy. It, but do you think everybody is concerned about the other person's happiness, or just has we become so selfish that we are just thinking about our own?
And not nobody else is concerned with anyone else's happiness.
Wow.
Um, and I know that sounds like a blanket statement. There are those of us that do genuinely care, right? But
Mm-hmm.
you can see by what's going on in the legal system that they don't give a rip.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, all of these things are just to spite God, slap him in his face because they don't believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so it's like I talked when we had that conversation about witchcraft a few weeks ago. These are all abominations in the
Mm-hmm.
eyes of God.
Yes.
All of it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no question, there's no let's have a conversation about it. That's just point blank what it is, and they do it on purpose for that reason. So I think that when it comes to respecting other people's happiness, that's out the window. They don't
Mm-hmm.
care anymore. And by they, that's both sides of the fence. They don't
Mm-hmm.
really care. You're going to do what they tell you, and that's the end of it. You don't have a religious freedom to say, no, I'm not putting that in my arm anymore in certain states.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have the right
Yeah.
to say, my child is a boy or a girl in
Mm-hmm.
certain states. The sad part is that you have conservative side that sees that, and that's why the left has become a target because the left is the only group supporting these things, right? Not saying that all Democrats support these things,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because
Yeah.
that's not true.
Yeah.
That's not true at all.
Mm-hmm.
But those are the people in positions of power in that political party that are pushing this crap.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, then you expect the other side to say, no, we're not going to do that. But they sit down and take it
Yep.
because they don't want the label of racist, homophobe, xenophobe, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Because it all gets thrown a label at it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, and then we're just left to sit here as the civilians and the parents of this country, and we just got to take it.
Mm-hmm.
We don't get to do anything, or we get labeled as this and we get canceled on the internet. You lose your livelihood,
Yep.
or you go to job and you get fired because somebody made a slandered statement against you, but you have no way to back it up, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's all so just overrun, and it's ruining people's lives all because they want what they want and they don't care about what you have.
Mm-hmm.
But those are the same people the same people that want you to respect their decision to be this way are the most intolerant people on the face of the planet. They will be the first person to pull a weapon or get up in your face to try and fight.
Exactly.
And say
Exactly.
something they don't like.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Exactly. Exactly. Toussaint, a married couple, been married 20 years. Say they've been married 20 years. Okay. Do you think, and I'm going along those lines, like in indecent proposal, I'm moving indecent proposal, but I'm putting a little different twist on it. If somebody would come to one of them and say, look here, look, I got a briefcase right here, $1 million, $1 million, $10 million, whatever it is. Let's say $10 million in this briefcase and a gun on the table. One of you have to shoot the other one. And if you shoot and kill the other person, you get to have this money. How many people would do you think would take that money? Or how many people would walk away in this day and time?
For you to even ask that question,
Come on. It says a lot about where we are, though.
Says a lot of where we are.
Yeah.
Well, you got a passport?
And my wallet.
Yeah.
Ain't got nothing in it, but
Ching ching.
Mm-hmm. But
But
do you actually think? Yeah, go ahead.
It says something about what you think about society and the value of or even having value or what's important. You know, in this time, it's about that bag. I'm sorry.
Wow, and that's sad, man. That's so sad, bro.
It's kind of like love don't live here anymore. Just give me the money.
That's so sad.
I mean, really? I mean,
wow.
We like to have. Everybody want to be the haves because the have-nots are not wanted. So to have a opportunity to fill an empty wallet, right? It kind of like, let me think that over. Not immediate no. Is let me.
But see, and
consider
exactly. That shouldn't even be a thought, man.
No,
that shouldn't even be a thought. You've been with this person for 20 years, and somebody gonna come in and offer you money, or I don't care how much it is. And you're going to consider, you even going to take an opportunity.
Well, here's the other part.
I missed what Ryan just did. I looked away. I missed what Ryan just did.
Here's the other part of that. Here's the other part of that, Ryan, is that in some cases, some people says, well, I've been waiting for an opportunity for years, for at least that.
Wow.
I'm just saying.
That's terrible. That's terrible.
Most is a contract. It's a bit. You know, we have people now. They have business arrangements. Yeah. They ain't studying no children. They ain't doing one but that. Matter of fact, some of them don't even live in the same household. But it's more convenient for two partners to get together. That way, you know, when you say partners, and I'll shut up. When you say partners, you don't have to have a certain gender to be a couple. It's your thing. Do what you want to do. I can't do
wow.
We're sock it too. And we socking it to everybody.
Yeah. Who zoom in who? Ryan, what do you say to that, Ryan? Do you think it would be considered? And what does it say about people? If an individual that's been married to somebody for 20 years would even consider taking $10 million, whatever it is, amount of money to kill their spouse? Man, that's sick. But what do you say?
I don't know what to say, man. It's like I said, I got my briefcase. I mean, you know, hey, what happens if it's 20 years of an unhappy, abusive relationship? You're gonna really think about that, right? $10 million, that's a lot of money. But I would never be able to dream of taking a mother of my children away for
Yeah.
$10 million. She's worth more than that
Exactly.
to me.
Exactly.
And my son sitting over here. Let me look at that. He just sitting over here.
Mm-hmm.
He drawing his little comic
Exactly.
books.
Exactly.
He say hi. I can't destroy
Yeah.
him like
Yeah.
that.
Exactly.
That's just something I can't do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm.
But do you think some people, and I'm very confident none of us that's on here right now would even consider that. We probably take the gun and shoot the person that's making the offer. We probably take the gun and shoot them. But do you think there's some people that would even consider that, Ryan?
Oh, of course.
Wow.
I mean, us sitting right here, yeah, we're gonna shoot the guy making the offer, and we still gonna get that $10
Mhm.
million. It's sitting right there in the
Exactly.
case.
Exactly.
How about I
Mm,
shoot you and take your money
mhm.
anyway?
That's right.
But I mean, there are people out there who would make that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it's like Tucson said, man. It's all about that bag, and any kind of quick come up, they're gonna do it
Mm-hmm.
because they think it's gonna solve their problems. Never mind the legalities that come behind it. You take that person out, you take out your spouse, you take that $10 million, you go deposit it in the bank,
Yep.
flag.
Yep.
Anything over $1,000 you deposit is
Yep.
flag,
Yep.
or somebody gonna snitch on
Mm-hmm.
you. So then what you could do at $10 million, they're gonna take it anyway.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So all you did was take a life for nothing.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Tucson, you spoke a little bit about it earlier, man, and let's go just a little bit deep. We got a few more minutes before we get out of here. But what does it say about the society that we live in that an individual would even consider that thought or that mind that have that mindset that, well, I could do so much with that $10 million. I could do so much with that $10 million. What does that say? Tucson, he got a little something going on over there right now.
Okay. Well, so here's the deal. I think
Uh-oh.
this is just me. I think that there are people with an agenda to watch this now to fulfill prophecy in how this world is going to turn out, and they make it their aim to make this world and this society biblically correct.
Mm. Mm.
Here's it.
Okay.
Here's the thing. Because if you watch it, see, I don't do no research and I don't watch the news much,
Mm-hmm.
but I do read and I see everything that goes on. That's why I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised.
Mm-hmm.
Either
Wow.
we are doing it willingly or prophetically,
Mm-hmm.
that we're going to wind up as it was in the days of Noah, or as it was in the days of Sodom and Gomorrah.
Mm-hmm.
Now you
Yeah.
see that
Yeah.
clearly,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're pushing it. I'm talking about pushing it to the age of those that are in kindergarten.
Mm.
Matter of fact, I already said it. I have newborn, or I had newborn grandchildren that they wanted to give them an opportunity. They just coming out they can't even open their eyes and hold their neck up clearly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
enough.
Mm-hmm.
They still have a problem breathing.
Mm-hmm.
Their organs are not functioning because they're
Yeah.
premature.
Mm-hmm.
Because when they're triplets, you got to take them early.
Yeah.
So they're not fully functioning.
Mm-hmm.
But this society has said, do you want them to make a decision for themselves? Really?
Mm.
And you see them. To me, it's obvious that there was two boys and a girl.
Yeah.
But we're not going to make that decision right now. We're going to let three individuals that still peeing in their pants and doing more than peeing in their pants
Mm-hmm.
make the decision for themselves
Yeah.
and let the parents shut your mouth and don't decide for your child.
Mm-hmm.
Don't
You
train
don't.
up a child in the way they should go. Just let them grow up and do the best they can.
Wow.
What does that
And
say?
what? Wow. Wow. And Ryan, with that being said, are they trying to take away parents' rights as parents? Hey, are they trying to take away parents'
He
rights
said,
as parents?
yeah, absolutely. Um, you can't make any decisions, you know, in certain states. Like I said earlier,
Mm-hmm.
you you can't make that choice. Or if your child goes to a faculty member at the school and says, "I want to be," you know, if it's a boy, "I want to be a girl." If it's a girl saying, "I want to be a boy," and the faculty calls you and lets you know this, and you tell them no, they don't get to make that decision. Guess what? You going to jail
Wow.
because you just violated their rights as their parent.
Mm.
What kind of nonsense is that?
Wow.
Um, or you know, to the extent like not everybody likes to spank their
Mm-hmm.
kids, but sometimes it's
Yeah.
warranted.
Yeah.
But you do that in front of somebody who feels some kind of way and they report you, you got CPS coming to the door.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I've read articles where parents have sent their children in the backyard to play and someone called CPS and they got their kids took for them being outside in the
Wow.
backyard.
Wow. That's sick, bro. That's sick. Yeah.
Yeah, it's absolutely mind blowing. And to Tucson's point, I think we're literally living in not just America but across the globe because the entire globe has seceded to this
Mm-hmm.
mindset.
Mm-hmm.
We're in a global Sodom and Gomorrah right
Yeah.
now. Globally, we're living
And
it.
see, and with that being said, it's also very safe to say that God is not pleased. God is not pleased. Tucson, talk to me. Mm-hmm.
No,
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ryan.
no, you're right. He's not pleased, and I wouldn't blame him right now. Turned his back on us and just left us here to burn ourselves. He don't even have to send us to hell. We living
Yeah.
through it.
Yeah. Yeah. Tucson, talk to me, brother. I say God is not
Literally,
pleased.
literally, in order for me to, for the last couple of weeks now, in order for me to get to church, I had to, and I'm on I-10. I had to slam the brakes because the woods is on fire.
Mm.
I'm talking about in a blaze. I'm talking about the medium, the
Mm-hmm.
eastbound and westbound are
Wow.
on fire.
Mm.
I'm talking about burning. I'm talking about
Yeah.
nobody
Yeah.
knows how and why it's in a
Mm-hmm.
blaze. I'm talking about blaze. You go
Mm.
back and they put it out. The fire department shut the highway down on all sides. They try to put it out. 2 days later, it's in a blaze again.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
It's been hot consistently
Yeah.
for 2, 3 months now. I don't know. And people have never even considered Hawaii is in a predicament.
Mm-hmm.
They got stuff that's going on you never seen before at that level.
Mm. Yeah.
And people
Yeah.
have never considered that God's sick of you.
Mm-hmm.
He's sick of you
Yeah. Yeah.
making your own decisions, causing your children to make their own decisions, dismissing everything that he said to for you to do to be kind of a beacon for society.
Mm-hmm.
And you just like all this biblical things and stuff like that. All y'all doing is throwing out. They confining people. Even church, they want you to stop reading Romans 1. Don't do that. That's a hate speech.
Mm-hmm.
God's sick of
Wow.
you
Yeah. Yeah.
and our actions He's sick. I mean, and this is what I'm saying because I know what our time's up. But every time in history, throughout the from the time we got here on this earth, we've seen God get sick of mankind and come down.
Mm-hmm.
And you really don't want that. But you're
No.
gonna get it. It's coming.
And it ain't gonna be pretty.
It ain't gonna be pretty. I'm sorry. It's coming.
Exactly. Exactly. Ryan, anything before we get out of here, brother?
While I don't disagree with my brother over there, I say this when it comes to temperatures and things like that. Remember, the key word of what you said was that we have seen. That we have seen. So it's things that's been going on this planet long before anything that thine eyes have seen, and the eyes before us and the eyes before us. So when they start saying things like, this is the hottest it's been in 2,000 years. Who was keeping temperature 2,000 years ago? Cro-Magnon man?
Wow.
You have to remember the planet does work in cycles of things that we've never seen before. I'm not disregarding what you're saying, brother, because I believe you're right. But there has to be a happy medium here. Some things are out of whack, and we get punished for it on one end. But I don't think everything is that punishment. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, let me ask you this question. It's a very rhetorical question. We're going to get on out of here. But do y'all believe in aliens? Do you think aliens are among us?
I'm right here.
Lord Jesus. Lord Jesus. Tucson, pray us out, brother.
God, we come now and we laughing, but we need your help. We need you. I mean, like never before. I mean, in our homes, on our jobs, as we even go to the grocery store. We can't, I mean, right now, we need some direction and some instructions and righteousness just so that we can be better. Preferably that you can get the glory out of our lives. We can't do nothing else without you. I mean, we're trying it, but we really can't. So we need some help. So send now, according to your will and your way, your authority, because the authority that we have, it hasn't gone in a terrible direction. And when we say we'll let nothing separate us from the love of God, which is in Christ Jesus, I have to admit, God, that we're trying very hard. And there are some that's trying to manipulate, but we know we fight not against flesh. I can go on and on and on. Thank you for this conversation. It just helps us to think about some things that are positive. So we bless you for it. We thank you. Thank you for Raheen and Ryan and all those that are listening and have joined in. So give us sweet rest on tonight. Bless us as we leave this setting, never to leave your presence. In Jesus' name and for his sake. Amen.
Amen. Amen. It's been a great broadcast. I want to thank everybody for joining us. And more than that, I want to thank you for allowing DKM Media Group and Associates and the Raheen Ashimi Show for being a part of your evening. It is now 10:03, about to exit the Raheen Ashimi Show. But before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us because we are certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple, I want you to go out there, find somebody and give them a hug, because you never know, it could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you could do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. Now we shine some less light on you from the Raheen Ashimi Show. Now take it out there to this wicked and cruel world that we live in, and let your light so shine. If you get an opportunity, give somebody some love. You just might find some love in return. Won't that be a beautiful thing? Have a great day. Take care of each other. And please, please, please be blessed. Give somebody some love and truth. They would appreciate it, and I'm sure that you will as well. See you tomorrow morning, 7 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on DKM Media Group and Associates. Love ya.
Get ready. I want you to get ready. Only thing I want you to do is to be ready. This is the broadcast that will talk about open and honest conversations every time we come live. I want you to get ready. Get ready. Prepare yourself. Things happen all the time. There's always things coming at us. Get ready. strap your seatbelt on real tight and get ready because you are embarking in. This is
The Raheen Ashimi Show.